Well, in the grounded her mindfulness meditation, self-exploration. Calling all game changers. What does it mean to change the game, and how do we level up in our reality? How did I go from drug addiction, unhealthy relationships, a really unhealthy sense of self built upon rejection, built upon unworthiness, built upon pain, built upon problems, to get into the place where I am now, where I'm free of mental and emotional suffering, and in a self-sustained life where I've seen miracles of manifestation on all kinds of levels happen, and in truth have had to do nothing to receive other than to realize being. So I'm gonna give you the secret to life. Everybody's looking for a life hack on how they transform their lives and live a life tuned with feeling incredible and feeling aligned and feeling like your life has purpose. And the hack is to do nothing other than accept where you are externally now. Sound crazy, right? How can I change by accepting and doing nothing with where I am now? You see, it requires a much greater level of intelligence to see that that's the key. It requires for you to have knowledge much greater than yourself, much greater than where you are now. Because what I've just said there is how you change your life, by accepting where you are now. That's how you change your life. But we've got to have like a logical question to follow. And the logical question that I would ask in that position is, how does acceptance change my life? How does acceptance of where I am now change where I'm going? Well, if we understand that, can you accept your life right now as it is? Can you accept your life as it is in this very moment? And if I was to say to you, your life's never going to change, it's going to be as it is now, what would be your response to that? What would be your response? So I say to you right now that your life is going to remain the same for the rest. What would the answer be? For most people, not all people, but most people, that would be a no. And that's why your life don't change. It really is that simple. That is the life hack. That is how you change your life. When you begin to accept it as it is now. But what are you accepting? What are you accepting now? That I am not content. That I am not fulfilled. That I haven't reached my destination. Only through acceptance of that state, only through the acceptance of that, can you begin to reach a better life. Because it's through the resistance of that, it's through you resisting where you are now and the life that you have now, that stops you from changing anything. Because it stops you from seeing how you are now. It stops you from feeling how you are now. That's why you can't accept it. You can't accept your life now because you can't accept how you feel. And if you can't accept how you feel, you cannot change how you feel. And if you can't change how you feel, you cannot change your life. You have to see that. You can't do nothing until you see it. What you see you can't unsee. Once you make something conscious, you can't then be unconscious to it. So if you make conscious why you want to change your life, why do I want a better life? Why am I striving for a better life? You stop placing your focus on some kind of future outcome and some kind of future way of how you can have a better life, and understand why you need a better life. Then you can understand the only reason you need better life because you can't accept yourself now. It just requires us to be more intelligent. It requires us to look more intelligently. It requires us to pose questions to ourselves that are actually going to get us thinking. We have to unlock ourselves. Because I promise you now, I've done this for 29 years, and I promise you now, if you keep holding on to an idea that the world's going to be a better place for you in the future, and you keep all your focus on what can I do, rather than what can I understand, I'll be honest with you, you can't change anything. You might be able to create a whole new business, but then that business might get you somewhere, and then you still have these feelings because you're creating from a lack of acceptance. In fact, when you come into acceptance, you won't need to try to change your reality. Because what actually happens is when we come into acceptance, we come into unhappiness. That's really what we're accepting. We're accepting our own unhappiness. And then when we come into that acceptance of our own unhappiness, then the work begins. That's where the transformation is. The transformation is not in a new business. The transformation is not in a new relationship. The transformation is passing through your unhappiness and ridding yourself of what you've been avoiding, what you can't accept, what you've been resisting. You get rid of that, and lo and behold, you find a deeper truth. You find something about yourself that you wasn't aware of. And you begin to connect back to the source. Now, when you get to the source in yourself, not the source of gold in reality, the source of gold within yourself, now you're a game changer. Now you're no longer doing what everybody else is doing. Now you're infused with something else. You're infused with your internal gold. Because you began to awaken to your own shit. You begin to awaken to what's going on within me. And that's where the change begins. And that there, making that conscious, opens the door for you to go on a journey that will truly benefit your life. A journey that will no longer keep you in the same shit, trying to escape the same feelings, the same thoughts. The game changer is by accepting where you are now, because when you accept where you are now, you can do the work that transforms your reality. And that is not an external transformation. It is first an internal transformation, and then the internal transformation reflects in the external. And you accelerate. That's accelerated living. To the next one, much love.